Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, you're watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. It's time for WWE Evolve Event Center, where wrestling action involves the WWE ID prospects, the PC prospects, and indie wrestlers from all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, and here's the man to bring you the wrestling report and action from the WWE Evolve Event Center, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. How's it going? Hope y'all had a great day. It is August 27, 2025, 10:48 p.m. As you know, August is almost over. 4 more days left until August. And that means when September comes around, everybody will be back to school. And then before, they'll probably still be back to school in their, in their new school gear and all that. The weather's starting to get a little cooler, not as mega hot. I think between July and August, I think those were the hottest months of the summer, and and all that good stuff. Now, and I had a goal set in mind because it's episode 2492, 8 episodes away from 2,500 episodes of the show. And as you know, I'm going to make it by the weekend when the weekend's up, and so by the end of August, you'll be reaching 2,500 episodes. I'm really excited about that. Looking forward, and we're gonna have some fun. I can, have some fun, and we're really gonna have a good time. So we're gonna talk about Evolve now. Before we get into Evolve, now everybody knows, every wrestling fan, everybody knows about the Raza Jackson Psycho Stu situation, incident that happened at a Knox Pro wrestling show. Now, remember about these Evolve episodes, they've been taped in advance. As you know, they did a lot of early tapings of this brand, WWE Evolve. That means, this is what it means now. That means if we see a wrestler and go, wait a minute, I thought they were released. Remember, it happened before, the taping happened before the incidents all went down. So, I'm referring to Ice Williams. He was one of the ID prospects from Knox Pro, as well as Jordan Oasis, and they were released. Now, a lot of people are thinking that it's because of WWE had to cut ties with Knox Pro because of the Raza Jackson Psycho Stu incident. And they also released Aaron Roberts, even though he did not make an appearance on Evolve. But here's the thing. There's some reports saying that Aaron Roberts played a role in trying to stop the whole situation between Raza Jackson and Stuart Smith, who was wrestling alias Psycho Stu, that was prompted the WWE brass to release him from his contract. So that was, because it's no coincidence that they did that, because if there was many roster cuts or releases in the WID program, there could have been a whole lot more. But these three in particular worked for Knox Pro Wrestling, and WWE cut ties with them because of that incident. And so that's why Ice Williams and Jordan Oasis is in this episode. Just to warn you guys ahead of time, I'm going to talk a little bit about that, about their appearance on Evolve. So they might be, like I said, these Evolve episodes were taped in advance as a result. All right, so don't be surprised if you see someone that was been released by the WEID program. You're gonna say, I thought they fired him and all that. Remember, these events were taped. All right. So women's action does kick it off. Kendall Gray wanting revenge for Kylie Bright against Wendy Chu, and the Sleepy Psycho gave Kendall Gray a run for her money. Kendall Gray, who recently was on NXT last night, being Ren Sinclair's tag team partner in a losing effort to the Cullings, Tatum Paxley, the newest member of that group, and Izzy Dame. And this was a heck of a matchup to the point where Wendy Chu had Kendall Gray in that dirt mat submission sleeper hold, but Kendall Gray fought a way out, tried to fight her way out of it, and ended up pinning Wendy Chu one-on-one. And then the referee was trying to get Kendall Gray off Wendy Chu, but realizing that Wendy Chu is refusing to relinquish the hold. So even if she did refuse to relinquish the hold, the decision still is in Kendall Gray's favor because Kendall Gray won the matchup. And as referee pulled Wendy Chu off Kendall Gray was dazed and was like, what the heck happened? And the referee's trying to tell you won the match, and Wendy Chu's too busy laughing. Why is she laughing? She lost the match. Crazy woman. Now, Ice Williams, like I said, remember now, taped in advance, Ice Williams addresses Sean Legacy. Those two may go one-on-one next week. I don't know. So, remember, these episodes of Evolve have been taped in advance. So, Jordan Oasis went one-on-one with Brooks Jensen. In fact, that Brooks Jensen and Jordan Oasis had a matchup against the Vanity Project's Swipe Right. Brooks Jensen walked out on Oasis during the matchup, costing them the match and giving the Swipe Right the victory. And then Brooks Jensen did end up winning the matchup, but then Chewy Martinez interviewed Jensen after the matchup, and Jensen says he has his sights set on being the Evolve champion, and he's targeting Jackson Drake, and then Chewy Martinez asks, what about the Vanity Project? I'll run over them and stand in my way, he says. Then Jackson Drake was kind of talking to because they were talking to the rest of the Vanity Project, because they were kind of watching it and say, you're the man, Jackson. It said, listen, nobody's going to challenge him. Nobody can beat me for this title. And then Stevie Turner interrupts and says, I'm going to get some number one contenders to line up against you for the championship. And then they started mocking her, disrespecting her, and she ended up leaving as a result. And then Layla Diggs and Mason Holiday was addressing the women's division. And Mason Holiday says she wants to target Kylie Ray. Now, as of this time, remember, taped in advance, because this was taped way before Kylie Ray became the first ever WWID Women's Champion. So, and as you know, Jack Cappuccino Jones won the Men's Championship of WWID. And so Mason Holiday wants to wrestle Kylie Ray to prove that she can be the best in the world. And we see a new attitude of Mason Holiday and Layla Diggs. Well, we'll find out for sure. Now the Evolve Women's title was on the line in the main event. In a fatal four-ways, Kelly Armstrong defended against Nikkita Lyons, Chantal Monroe, and Karmen Petrovic. And this was a heck of a matchup. It seems like Kelly Armstrong and Nikkita Lyons in the ring were going at it, and fans loved that matchup. And after the Cali connection, 1, 2, 3, Kylie Armstrong still retains the titles. But let me know. Here's my takeaway from this. I want to talk about Nikkita Lyons, okay? I love Nikkita Lyons. She's gorgeous, curvaceous. What a babe she is. But, people say, well, they had that aura, all right? The aura. I don't think Nikkita Lyons has just an aura. She has the roara. The lioness and all. The roara. She's the roara queen. That's Nikkita Lyons. And I see Karmen Petrovic now. Nikkita Lyons has a knowledge of the martial arts. So does Karmen Petrovic. I think that those two should join forces as a tag team. My personal opinion on that. And if you want, add Lola Vice to the team. If you want a team that can challenge Fatal Influence or the Elegance brand, since we're doing this NXT TNA crossover, why not have Nikkita Lyons, Karmen Petrovic, and Lola Vice join forces? There's your women's trios team. And better yet, have Lola Vice challenge JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. Why don't Petrovic and Lyons go to SmackDown and challenge Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship? That's what I think should happen, my personal opinion. But who knows for sure what's going to happen in a year or two. So expect Ice Williams and Jordan Oasis to make a couple more appearances, I believe, in Evolve. I don't know how many taped appearances they made until they basically got released from their contracts. So from the WWE ID contracts, we'll find out for sure what the story is. Furthermore, we've heard another development in that Raja Jackson Psycho Stu incident. That another wrestler by the name AJ Mann was named as the person who basically was the one that started the whole thing by telling Raja Jackson, go give them a receipt. And it seems like to me a lot of miscommunications happening, and lack of communication is really what hurt Knox Pro's chances of being part of the WWEID program ever again. And we haven't heard anything from Rikishi social media wise since the incident happened. I do believe so. I'm sure he's trying to, because he is the boss and the owner of that wrestling organization, Knox Pro. But we'll find out for sure if he does respond. So, that's all the time we have on this show. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 2492, Evolve Event Center, for August 27, 2025. Next up, it'll be another episode for AEW Dynamite, The Fallout from Forbidden Door. Until that next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and Door for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.